Welcome to the Social Innovation Global Ethics Forum 2018 Speaker Interview Series on Decentro Report. Brought to you by HoryouToken, a cryptocurrency driving the new renaissance. A link to this awesome blockchain project is below. Hi everyone, I'm Decentro here at the CGEF 2018 event in Singapore. I have Rowan Logie with me here. Rowan, thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no worries. So I'm going to introduce you to the viewers. Rowan is an established entrepreneur and advisor to Swytch, a blockchain renewable energy verification and incentive project designed to create a trustless global market for smart carbon offsetting. Bit of a mouthful. Do you want to sort of digest for viewers what Swytch is all about?
Sure. It's really a way of incentivizing sustainability behaviors. That's all. So in phase one, that will look like. Well, I guess let's back up a little bit.
Yeah.
So we see the data pointing to an extinction level event. We need to solve this event. I think we all agree on that. There's not much confusion about that. Why haven't we seen renewables take over the world by storm already? Well, that's complex. We have multiple government systems around the world, some of which incentivize renewables, some of which don't. We have many actors, some of which are driven by economics, some of which are driven by social impact, some of which are driven by government policy. It's a fragmented market, and there is no single global standards, no single global approach. And even the systems that are designed to incentivize the development of renewables often don't do that. They have a single certificate for carbon offsets or something like that, and that gets awarded for an amount of renewable energy that's produced. But what we don't know is how much that generation actually made a difference in the world. So if you build a new solar plant where there's already lots of solar, you're really not making that much of a dent. If you build a new solar plant in Argentina or the South Pacific or Sub-Saharan Africa, you're offsetting a huge amount of diesel, you're really making a difference. So what we need is for the right incentives to be there globally so that the various actors, governments, consumers, investors, and financiers, all of the different actors can understand what their options are and can be motivated to invest in where the greatest impact is going to result from.
You would think an impending ELE event or extinction level event would be enough motivation, but apparently it's not. So how are you motivating people to make the right investments?
Oh, sure. So we live in an incredibly complex world, and if we're looking at globally, even if you just take the fragmented policy settings around the world, you have an incredibly complex array of systems that don't stitch together at all. And then if you bring in economic factors, you bring in risk factors like the sovereign risk of investing in Africa. If you build a big solar plant there or a big wind farm, you need to amortize that. You need to pay that off. As an investor, it might take you 10 years, and then you need another few years to make some money out of it so you can do your next thing. So the risk is very high in the places that matter the most, actually. So in a way, we've got an upside-down situation where what we need is for people to invest the most where it's hardest to invest, and instead we're getting the opposite. So what Swytch tries to do is say, well, let's imagine all of the activities around the world that need to happen between now and 2040 to result in a fully climate-friendly world. All of the activities. Let's arbitrarily divide that into 6 billion units of activity, and then let's say every activity between now and then. What if we could measure how many of those 6 billion units were added, were performed? So how much did this solar power that was just generated in the last hour in northern Chile actually contribute to this switch between now and 2040 to a fully climate-friendly world?
I like that. It's data-driven, making it reality-driven, not just a sort of pipe dream. I'm a techno-optimist. You speak of an extinction-level event. I'm smart enough to realize that, yeah, it's possible, but I like to, for my own sanity, have faith in humanity and in the fact that there already are a number of technologies that just haven't been fully employed yet that can have a tremendous positive impact. For example, we know how to pull CO2 out of the air to make bricks. We know how to pull CO2 out of emissions from a concrete factory to make methanol, those kind of things. So is my optimism unfounded? Am I just dreaming, or can you back me up?
Absolutely, I can back you up. Yeah, the data tells me we're not quite. We haven't solved the problem yet, but we're well on the way to doing that. And I think what we see, if we look back through history at major technological disruptions, I remember seeing a photograph of I think it was First Avenue in New York City in 1903. From a second-story window, the entire street is full of horses and carts, and there's one car. In 1904, another photo from the same window shows that the entire street full of hundreds of cars and 2 horses and carts. That's 2 years, and we wouldn't think that kind of change could happen so quickly, but I think that's what's happening now, and I think that optimism is well-founded.
Okay, that's cool. Thank you for backing me up. And didn't they have projections of horse poo Armageddon? Do you know anything about that? They actually did. They were projecting the amount of horses that were going to be on the streets, and they thought it was going to be a horse poo Armageddon, literally. But then cars were invented. Right. Yeah, just like you're saying.
Quite analogous, perhaps. Yeah.
Not quite an extinction level event, but would have been quite a shit show.
Well said.
Yeah, right on. Okay, Rowan. Well, it was great having you on the show. Any last words for viewers?
Look, I think the future of energy and how that overlaps with blockchain is very exciting, and I think, the idea that each of us around the world, whether we be a large investment company or a small individual, and in a rich or poor country or a rich or poor situation with education, not education, that each of us could have the opportunity to participate in taking the world from where it is now to being a fully climate-friendly world. That each of us could have that opportunity in a frictionless way to add value to that journey, to that switch. I think that's very exciting.
Well, I can see why you're optimistic, because Swytch is part of this push to change things, and that's fantastic, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
Right on. Thanks for watching, everybody. Before you move on, make sure you like and share this video. Also, please subscribe and ring the bell so you can catch the rest of the Decentro Report playlist for CGEF 2018, giving you a chance to meet all the speakers from this awesome event. Brought to you by HoryouToken, a cryptocurrency driving the new renaissance. A link to this awesome blockchain project is below.